Hey everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter. You are joining me on July 3rd at 7 p.m. Pacific, if you're catching this live, for the Celebratory Sips kickoff class. This is Project 1 in our series for the month, and I am actually very excited about the cards this month. This is a really fun, sweet, and it feels like summertime is the perfect time to craft with this particular bundle of joy, sweet of joy, lots of different things. All right, I'm just getting everything set up, so I'm almost ready to go, and then there we go. Then we'll go through all the measurements. All right, hello Kate, hello Carissa. Carissa, are you still on holidays? Probably. All right, looks good. I think we're ready. All right, I'm using a lot of different elements in tonight's card, and I actually haven't put it together yet. I just have this idea in my head for tonight's project, so let's see how it goes. Hey, Kathy. Hello, Jennifer. Thanks for tuning in. So I will be using the holographic resin dots that come in the Celebratory Sips suite, the Glass and Gardens embossing folders. I've also brought in the stylish shapes dies, the textured notes dies, and of course the Cheers and Sips stamp set, the corresponding dies, and the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper. Hello Marion, hello Debbie, and Pam. Glad you are catching the live. You're staying up late, Pam. I know how late it is where you are. All right, let's get going. Chris, I'm glad you're on holidays. I can't wait for summer holidays. I am just not in the mood for work at all. As soon as the weather gets hot, I just don't feel like work. All right, to start, Timid Tiger card base. This is your basic card base. That's half a sheet of cardstock. It's 5.5 by 8.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4 down the middle. I think this is actually referred to as an A2 card. I learned that not too long ago. All right, then I have got a piece of basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4. That's for the inside, completely optional. And if you caught my measurement post, I actually didn't have room to put the piece of white in the picture because I have so many things happening with this card. Hello, Janice. Thanks for tuning in. All right, peach pie. This is 4 by 5 1/4. I've got a designer series paper from the Celebratory Sips pack. This is 3 7/8 by 4 1/8. I've got another piece of peach pie. This is 2 1/8 by 4 1/8. Another piece of the designer series paper from the Celebratory Sips pack. This is 2 by 4. And then I've gone ahead and cut out a circle with the stylish shapes dies. This is a 2.5-inch diameter. And I cut out a banner. This is, you can see I've already pre-stamped it because it was pretty skinny and I need to get my head right over it and my phone's in the way while I'm videotaping. So I did pre-stamp this. I cheated a little bit. This banner is 2 3/4 by 1/2 inch. I cut out a piece of Blackberry Bliss. I wanted to call it eggplant for a second. I don't know why. It's Blackberry Bliss. Now I feel like I might have called this the black eggplant Stampin' Right marker in the description. I'm gonna have to go back into my Facebook and see what I put down for supplies. I feel like I probably called it eggplant. I hope I didn't. I might have. All right, so I cut this out with a textured notes die, and it is 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. If you don't have the textured notes dies, just cut it out to that size. And then I've also got some of the designer series paper that we're going to do a little bit of stamping on. So obviously I've pre-stamped the sentiment. I've done that in Timid Tiger. I'm just going to put that to the side and let's get going Got a lot of things happening. Oh, and I'm also going to be using the gold striped mesh ribbon that comes in the suite. I think I'm using everything. Hey, Sherry, thanks for tuning in. All right, let's start with gluing down some of our layers. I'm just going to raise the camera just a smidge. I'll do it gently so I don't make anybody nauseous. Hey, Christine. Hello, Carolyn. Oh, the designer series paper was sold out when you went to get it. Ah, rats, hey? That's too bad. It was probably because of the sweet sale in June. Lots of things were selling out. All right, so I'm just going to layer down the larger piece of peach pie right on my card front. And then I'm going to add this designer series paper. So you can choose, it's double-sided. You might not want to use the orange side if you're using the same supplies as me. You might want to flip it around and use this pretty floral pattern. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to have the orange sticking out. But I do love this flower pattern, and spoiler alert, you're going to see it in project number, I think it's project number 3. So I've got 3 of the 4 projects designed. I'm just starting to put the card kits together that need to get mailed out. And then tomorrow I'm going to design project number 4. Oh, good. Janice, I called it Blackberry Bliss. Thank goodness, because I don't know why I was thinking it was eggplant. It was probably because my dog had an injury and it turned eggplant purple. Anyway, luckily that's resolved. I'm really glad about that. All right. Now, next step is layering these 2 pieces together. So again, this is double-sided. You can use whatever side you like. I'm going to use the fruity side because it speaks to me. What a warm day out today on the southern part of Vancouver Island. When I was driving home, I had to crank my air conditioning because it was hot. I never know how hot it is when I'm at work because it's air conditioned in my building. And then when I go to leave at 4, I'm surprised with how hot it is. I meant to get out for a walk, but sometimes I just get so busy I forget about the time, and it's been really busy at work. So it was one of those days that I didn't leave my desk. It happens. All right, so before we glue this down, we've got our circle. This is 2.5-inch diameter and totally optional, but it looks really pretty if you do it. I'm going to emboss the circle with the floral pattern in the Glass and Gardens embossing folder. I'm not sure if you can see that because the lighting is kind of the pits. I need something. 1 second. I need something here to block that glare. I always forget about the glare on my glass mat. I absolutely love my glass mat, but it's terrible for glare. All right, so if you have this embossing folder, then go ahead, give your circle a run through that folder. If you don't, either leave your circle plain or substitute for whatever embossing folder that you have in your stash. So I've already gone ahead and embossed one of these circles. Now, if I hold it just right, you should be able to see. It's just really pretty. So this circle, I am going to, I'm either going to glue it, where am I going to do? I think I'm going to glue it above my patterned panel, I think. See, I didn't make this yesterday. I have an idea. I have an idea in my head, and that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's glue this panel down. All right, Christine says, put some vellum down on my mat to stop the glare. Yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that because, you know, I don't use vellum for anything else. I might as well be putting it down to stop the glare. I don't use vellum in my projects. I don't know what it is. Why I'm so vellum resistant. I'm vellum resistant and I'm heat embossing resistant. It's just my quirks, I guess. All right, so we've glued this panel down. Card front looks like so. And then we're going to add this circle right to the left of it. Now you can pop it up, you can glue it down flat. I'm going to glue it flat because I'm going to pop up some other elements on the card. There we go, like so. All right, what's next? Okay, now we'll do a little bit of stamping. I have got just my tuxedo black, and I have got the stamps for the short glass and the tall glass. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp these right on my pattern paper, so I don't even have to color in my drinks. How easy is that? Hey Lisa, thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of white space at the top of this like patch of color, and then get the rest of that colored paper right in the outline of the glass, just like so. And then I'll do the same thing with my tall glass. Now, I think I mentioned this on Monday, but I was reading in a stamping magazine that you're actually supposed to ink up your stamps, ink to stamp, which I only do if I have a really big stamp. So that's just what I read. I don't know. That's the tip I read in a magazine. I don't know if it's truth or not. I mean, who says it's truth? All right, so I'm just going to line this up, give it a little stamp. So now we've got our glasses, our drinks, I should say. Our drinks are ready to go. And of course, we've got some ice cubes, and it's summertime, right? So we need ice cubes in our drinks. Oh no, that's how the ink smudges happen. Some of you have sent me ideas for my own ink smudge slogan. Thank you. I appreciate the ideas. All I need to do now is crack out that Cricut and get going and make myself some t-shirts. I think it's going to happen maybe this weekend. Carissa says I need to switch over my ink pad. You know, you're probably right. Carissa has taken one of the blank stamp pads that you get if you order the white ink, because the white ink comes with an empty ink pad and a refill, and then you just add the white ink and there you go, it's all ready to go. But Carissa went ahead and turned that ink pad into a tuxedo black ink pad with a Blackberry inker, and she says it's a game changer. So I believe you, Carissa, I believe you. All right, so you can do one of two things. If you've got this bundle, then you can go ahead and use the dies to cut these glasses out, because there are corresponding dies for these glasses, or you can fussy cut them. They're actually quite easy to fussy cut because they have, well, this shorter glass just has really gentle lines and the taller one is fairly straight. So I went ahead and I pre-stamped and actually fussy cut these out last night just to save a little bit of time. So we're going to add these glasses to our card. So I'm going to put the taller one up here and the shorter one over here. But before I glue it down, I've got this textured die Blackberry Bliss, not eggplant, rectangle that I'm going to put down as well. And I'm going to put that down right about here, I think. Let me see. Yep, that looks right. I'm just going to glue it down flat. Other things will get popped up. Actually, before I do that, I just want to do a little measuring because I'm not going to use my full banner. I'm just going to use some of it. So I'm just going to line it up, and I want it to be just a smidge over half on that rectangle. So I'm just going to snip that flush against the edge. Just like that. All right. Could I use Versamark for the ice cubes? Yes, but then I'd have to heat emboss. Ugh. But yes, absolutely. All right. I'm going to glue this down. And then we'll layer on our drinks. These are so fun. Very summery. Whether if you like lemonades or iced teas or just fruity drinks, or if you like something a little more spiked, like fancy cocktails, this is just a lot of fun, this set. Okay, I'm figuring out where everything's going to go. I'll put my banner right about there. Okay, we're ready. I'm going to pop up these drinks, grab my dimensionals, and away we go. All right, I am going to be exceptionally generous with my dimensionals because designer series paper is a little more flimsy or lightweight than cardstock. So I like to add more dimensionals if I'm putting down images that are cut out of the designer series paper, just for that reason. And then I'm going to add this shorter glass. I'm going to put glue on this side so it attaches to the taller glass, and then dimensionals on the other side. I'm just keeping my thumb on the edge where I need to put the dimensionals. Otherwise, my brain's going to forget, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on the wrong side. Yeah, absolutely, Christine, pina coladas. I am not a big alcohol drinker, but you cannot go wrong with a pina colada. Those are delicious. With or without, spiked or not, they're all really good. It used to be one of my favorite drinks when I was my younger self. I just don't drink as much alcohol the older I get. And it's not because I have a problem with alcohol. It's because I don't get a good sleep anymore if I have drinks. It really robs me of a decent sleep. I'm just adding another dimensional because I had a little bit of, it was just a little flimsy on that one corner. All right, card is looking like so. Now, let's add our banner. And I'm going to pop it up right underneath. I'm just going to add my dimensionals right to the bottom of this little strip. And that way I'm going to put it on perfectly. Get that out of the way. All right, maybe I don't need 4 dimensionals for this. I might be getting a little over the top. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue there because my banner is going to hit that part. I'm going to line up that cut edge with the edge of my Blackberry Bliss, not eggplant. I keep thinking it. All right, Christine, yeah, strawberry daiquiris are good too. See, your suggestions, pina colada and strawberry daiquiri, those are excellent drink choices with or without booze. Yeah. Okay, so looking pretty cute. You can leave it like this. It's totally fine. But why would we do that when we have all sorts of things we can add to it? Lena, thanks for tuning in. All right. Let's see. I'm missing comments. Hello, Cindy. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Sherry is wondering if you should use a palette knife to spread the white craft ink on the pad or not. Do you mean like if you're going to turn a white pad into a black ink pad, did Carissa use a palette knife to spread it? I don't know. Is that what you're asking, Sherry? I'm not sure. Clarify in the comments because I'm sure Carissa will tell you exactly what she did. She keeps telling me it's a game changer and I keep ignoring her. I haven't done it yet, but I mean I should, right? Oh, okay, so Carissa, you spread the ink with an old gift card. That's smart. So I have gone ahead and I have mounted on the little fruit stamps onto a block. I've got the citrus slice. You can make it an orange slice, a lemon slice, a lime slice, however you want to color it, the cherry and the blackberry. And then I'm just going to ink those up in my tuxedo black and stamp those right on a scrap. And then all I'm going to do is a quick little color job. And I've got my light Blackberry Bliss. I'm just going to use the bullet tip. I'm using the bullet tip on my Stampin' Writes more and more these days because these expensive little markers love to fray on the brush tip. So I've been trying my best to preserve them. All right, Debbie, you love all the bright summery colors. Yeah, thank you, me too. Cindy switched her black ink over to the craft pad and confirms it's a game changer. All right, coloring the cherry in with cherry cobbler, obviously. And then I'm going to make this a lemon slice. I've got my, which color is this? My dark Darling Duckling. It's like a tongue twister. And I'm going to do this shade just on the rind of my lemon slice and on the inside, in between, I guess, the pulp. And I think Darling Duckling is a really great color for this, for the rind. All right, and then I'll go over the entire image with my dark lemon lolly. Hey, Susan, with the brush tip, but very gently, and I'll use the side of it. Now, this lemon lolly is not well used, in my opinion, and it's already starting to fray. I don't know if you can see it, but it is, trust me, it's fraying. And friends, let me tell you, that drives me crazy. I'm not hard on my craft supplies. I expect better. I expect better. It's really disappointing. And they're so lovely to work with. So I do take extra care with them because they are just clearly so fragile. All right, so now you've got dies. If you've got the bundle that'll cut these little shapes out, you can fussy cut for sure. A little trickier with the blackberry and the cherry, but it can be done. So I've gone ahead and I have actually colored and cut with the dies, not fussy cutting, 3 of each. Now I don't know if I'm going to use all 3, but let's just see. Let's just see. Things can happen. All right. So I'm going to start adding some of these elements to the drinks. I think I'm going to add a lemon. Now, I'm wondering if I snip this, if I can tuck it in like it's a lemon slice. I could have thought about that earlier. I can maybe do it to the left side. Yes, I totally can. I'm just going to cut this a little bit deeper. And then you can actually tuck that right into your drink like so. If you wanted to make it look like you've got a lemon slice right in your drink, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to add some glue to the back and tuck that right in. Oh yeah, that fits perfectly. And then I think it's going to need a cherry because, you know, if you're going to have a fancy drink, you might as well get the snacks on it, right? I mean, I love drinks with snacks. Somewhere in my mess, I have got my dimensionals. I just had them. Oh, there they are. And if you have your take your pick tool, don't be like me. Don't lose it because it is so, so, so handy for pulling the backings off of your dimensionals. So I don't know what I've done with it. Somewhere. Oh, here it is. There it is. All right, I didn't lose it after all. Okay, so I've got a lot of things that I can keep adding to my drinks, and I think I'm going to make my purple drink the extra fruity drink. I'm going to add a little blackberry right behind the cherry, and possibly another lemon to the top of the taller glass. Let's see what it looks like. I feel like lemon slices are essential for summery drinks, right? Yep, one more lemon slice. All right, Debbie says she stopped buying the blends because the whole end of the pen was coming off and you got tired of super gluing it back on. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It's wrong. You know, it's wrong. All right, Janice, you agree about the fraying blend ends and your blends have completely pulled apart. Yeah, I know. I know it is such a pet peeve of mine, and I'm sure Stampin' Up! Hears a lot of complaints about their Stampin' Blends. And I love them. I absolutely love them. I love to craft with them. But man, did they ever tick me off. They tick me off. All right. Lemon slice. Maybe it's too much lemon slice. It might be too much. It's too late. I committed. I'm doing it. I'm just going to add a little dimensional to the back of this slice so it doesn't sag, and then add another blackberry because they're my favorite. I really like blackberries. We're never short of blackberries on Vancouver Island. Jennifer, my dog, is totally okay. He's totally okay. He had, he just had a little strange little growth that turned literally the color of a blackberry. But quick visit to the vet. It is benign. It is taken care of. It is all okay. He's such a junkyard dog. All right, so I have a lot of fruit left over. I'm just going to add some pieces, some bits and pieces here and there on the card. Now I could add another cherry to my tall drink, but I feel like it'll be, I don't want it to be exact, right? In fact, I might add another lemon just to change it up a little bit. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it and try to sneak it in behind. I'm going to cut it just a smidge more. It's just paper. What's the worst that can happen, right? Yeah, I'm going to add one more lemon to the back of this drink, just to change it up so it doesn't look exactly like my first drink. So normally I do a simple card for the first project, but I couldn't help myself. With this bundle, I couldn't help myself. And the two that I designed first, they weren't as easy either. So this is just one of those sets that it's really fun to go all out with. Christine says, make sure to let them know if you're having trouble with your blends. Absolutely. Yeah, Christine, you're right. If you are having trouble with your blends, absolutely get in touch with customer service from Stampin' Up! They're actually great. They're very helpful. They're excellent. And they'll definitely help you out if it is a relatively new Stampin' Blend. But I'm not sure what happens when they get a little bit older, right? So just pay attention. If you notice any problems with your blends, let them know right away. 9 times out of 10, they're going to replace it for you, and they'll take care of you. All right, it's extremely fruity. There's a lot of fruit happening. All right, Chris's got blackberries in her tattoo because they were your Grampy's favorite, and you have blackberry bushes. I think it's so cute that you call your Grampy Grampy, because fun fact, that's what Kai calls his grandparents on his dad's side. He calls them Grammy and Grampy. It's really cute. And I don't even know where that came from. I guess when he was really little maybe and wasn't pronouncing words fully. All right, so I've just grabbed the holographic dots, and I'm going to add a little bit of bling to this card randomly. Why am I using my scissors when I have my extremely handy take your pick tool? Oh, one tiny little ink smudge. I'm going to cover that up just like that. I didn't even know I did that. All right, so there we go, 3 little blings, and I'm going to add my inside piece before I do anything else because I'm going to add a bow, and then I need to let this set for a second. So I've just decided that I need something for the inside of the card, otherwise it's naked, and you know how I feel about naked cards, or the naked inside of cards. So I'm just going to quickly fussy cut this out, and you can see how easy it really is if you don't have the dies to fussy cut out the glasses. All right, isn't that what you're supposed to call them? Well, I don't know. I called my grandma or granny. I never called her grampy, or you know what I'm saying. We'll talk about it. It just, I've never heard anybody do it except for Kai and now you. I've heard Grandpa and Granny, Grandma, but I've never heard Grampy. Maybe it's me. Maybe I haven't been around long enough. Maybe I've been living under a rock. That's probably it. All right, don't mind me, Carissa. I'm just not that smart, okay? I am just not that smart. Super cute, though. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this little glass right to the edge of my inside layer, and then I'm gonna snip it off. So it's like so, right? And then I've got one little cherry left, so it feels wrong to not use it. So I'm going to add that too, but I might put it right at the base of the glass, like it fell off or something. Gramps is cute, Debbie. Yeah, that's a cute one. I've never heard that either. But you know what? You know what the problem is now that I think about it? My grandpas weren't around long enough for me to even call them names, so I never got to come up with anything super cute. But my grandmas lived well into their 90s. And my one grandma, she is a sweetheart. Well, she was. She passed away during COVID, but really bright and positive, cheery attitude. And I think of her often. And she used to say to me, every time we got off the phone or if I came for a visit, she would say, I love you by a bushel and a peck. And it was last year, one of my friends, Joan, I like to call Joan Mama J, she gave me a little card kit to make a card with, and it said, I love you a bushel and a peck. And I never actually did make a card with it because I kept it. I'll actually show you. I have it right where I can see it every day in my craft room because it reminded me of my grandma. Because I don't hear people say, I love you a bushel and a peck. I've only heard my grandma say that. All right. Marion's son called her mom Rambo when he was very little, and it was so cute. Yeah, that would be cute. All right, we're almost done. So here is the inside. Here is the outside. Very busy. And why wouldn't we make it busier? Let's add a little bow because this is really pretty. And on the plus side, it does tie quite nicely, which is great. Holy smokes, it's already 7:30. This has taken a while. Sorry, friends. Especially for those of you staying up late. You know who you are. Carissa, you're one of them. It's definitely late on the east coast of Canada and in other places too. All right, so see how easy that is to tie a bow? It's just so simple. All right, so my fingers are a little bit sticky, but I think I've got it almost perfect. Just going to give that a little snip. And then attach this down with my Tombow because I just can't do it with the glue dots. I got to stop complaining about it and just go ahead and get a new roll because I'm very sure I just have an old dried up roll. All right, I'm going to hold that here for just 1 second. And then once the slide is over, what I'm going to do is put a block on it and I'm going to let it sit for about 2 to 5 minutes, and then this bow is not going to go anywhere unless you intentionally rip it off your card. Okay? All right, there we go. Card project number 1. Very bright, cheerful colors and the embossing on that circle in the background. Fun on the inside, beautiful on the outside. I'm going to flip my camera around. All right. So thanks for tuning in for project number 1. I'm very excited to share the rest of the projects with you. Classes 2 and 3 are designed. They're awesome. They're really good, actually. I'm really proud of them. Hello, April. It is a very happy card. Thanks, Janice. I'm making your kits up tonight, at least most of it, because I still got one to make. Anyway, so cards 2 and 3, yeah, they're nice. And I haven't done anything like these cards before, so you're going to want to stay tuned and see what I have come up with, because I think you're really going to like it. And with this suite, I really have to showcase the beautiful patterned paper. So Chris and Carolyn, I hope that paper comes back in stock soon so you can grab some, because it is really beautiful. And oh, Kate, you're waiting for your order to arrive so you can make the card. Well, I look forward to seeing what you make. So next class, there won't be as many tiny little pieces. Oh, I just lost my bow. See, I got to put that weight on it. There won't be as many die cut little pieces, but there will be some fussy cutting and showcasing of this gorgeous paper. I'm just gluing. Wow, I just put my face right in the camera. Sorry, that was weird. I was gluing my bow back on. I forgot what I was doing. Sherry says, happy 4th of July to everyone in the USA. Yes, the big day is tomorrow. I'm going to walk up to my lookout and watch the fireworks over in Port Angeles. So I'm really excited because you guys put on a good show. All right, so that is it. Monday night, I will be back with another live. I'm not sure what I'm making, but it'll be something different, something new, something fun, maybe Christmas in July, because that seems fitting. And oh, if you have signed up for the virtual album retreat, check your email, because you would have got the invitation to the private Facebook group today. So if you've signed up and you're joining, then check your email, get in that Facebook group and say hello to me if you're there, because I'm in there already. I'm really excited about that. That's coming up on the 16th of July. So if you were sitting on the fence about the virtual album retreat, you can still get it. There's still some kits available, and it should get to you in time before the retreat starts. So that's coming up. And of course, if you're in Canada and if you are my customer in July with a minimum of a $50 order, then I will be mailing you the card kits for the Celebratory Sips card class at home for 4 cards. And all you have to do is add your own stamps, ink, and adhesives. Oh, and Stampin' Blends, of course, things like that. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. If you make this card, share it with me. I'm going to post a picture in Facebook of the final project in about 10 minutes after I get this video loaded to YouTube. If you're watching replay on YouTube, you're going to find the measurements for this card and the supply list in the video description, as well as my shopping list if you want to get your hands on the free card kits. Thanks for tuning in, and I will hopefully see most of you or all of you on Monday evening. Thanks for tuning in, and have a really good night.